What advice do you have for other kids that are thinking about getting started or making progress on something that interests them?
But the most important part is to focus on your progress and not like don't look at what you're not good at. Look at what you are doing to get better at that instead.
Hey guys, today I got the opportunity to interview Gwen McLeod. Gwen is a member of the Girls Team Ontario for the 2020 Canadian Youth Short Track Championships. Kids Power is all about learning from kids and teens who are accomplishing amazing things. And I loved talking to Gwen about how she's making progress in competitive speed skating at such a young age. If you like to hear about kids with lots of potential, I'd love it if you could watch this video through to the end and maybe even subscribe or give it a like. This will be interesting. You can also find this video on my website at kidspower.com. That's kids with a Z and power with a 3. Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Ethan Waddell from Kids Power, and today I'll be interviewing
Gwen McLeod.
Now, Gwen, can you tell me a bit about your family? Like, who are your parents, siblings, or pets?
I live with my parents, my older brother, and I have 2 dogs.
Nice. What got you interested in speed skating, and how old were you when you first started?
When I was about 6 or 7, I had recently quit hockey, and a close friend of mine who had been speed skating previously invited me to come try it out. So I went and I had a blast.
Sounds fun. Was it hard to get started though?
It was, when I first got on the ice, it was a little bit of a weird experience, but I picked it up relatively quickly, and with some practice, I got pretty good at it.
So I'm assuming since you picked it up quickly, do you think hockey and skating from there helped you?
Oh, definitely. The experience that I had before definitely helped me on the ice.
What club are you a part of?
I am with the Toronto Speed Skating Club.
Nice. I play hockey, but I've never tried on speed skates. How do most people feel when they try it on for the first time? And uh, what makes it different from like hockey and all those types of skating?
The biggest difference, I would say, is the length of the blades. Speed skates are significantly longer, and there's more support in the ankle. So usually it's just trying to not trip over your blades when you first try.
So the longer blades help it supports your ankle more?
The boot is designed to be like tighter around your foot, like you heat mold it to your foot so
Mm-hmm.
that it fits super tight. So it like supports your ankle a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you do short track or long track? And can you explain the difference between short track and long track?
I myself am a short track speed skater because there are no long tracks near me, unfortunately. The main
Uh,
difference is, of course, the size of the track. A short track rink, it's a hockey rink, an Olympic sized hockey rink, and you use a 111-meter track usually, whereas a long
mm-hmm.
track is a 400-meter track. And during long track, it's 2 lanes, so there's usually 2 skaters at a time, whereas short track, there can be like a lot at a time. I think like 12 I once had in a race.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do people pick one of short track or long track?
It depends. A lot of people that live closer to long track rinks, they will do both sometimes, but like you usually have a preference.
Ah, okay. I got it. How many races or competitions do you participate in during a regular year?
The season usually goes from November to March, and I think it's about like once a month usually.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you have a specific memory or highlight that makes you smile when you think of it and that you think you're always going to remember?
Probably my first ever competition when I was 7, I believe, in Markham. It was the first time that I had skated with people that like I had like these were totally new people. I didn't know anyone, but I ended up getting second at the meet, and that really helped me want to keep going, I think.
You got second on your first competition?
Yeah, I was in the beginner
Wow.
group. So yeah, it wasn't like huge, but for me it felt really, really great.
Yeah. Have you had any challenges along the way that you've pushed through to keep improving, or do you just like stick with it?
About 2 years ago, I started getting some pretty bad knee pains, and this is pretty common for speed skaters
Hmm.
because you're constantly putting pressure on your knees. Even now, they still haven't gone away. So I've been to a couple physiotherapists, chiropractors, and I do some exercises to help and everything, but it's not really going away. But I still push through
Hmm.
and tape my knees up.
That makes sense. How far do you have to travel for competitions, and what's the farthest you've had to travel?
The competitions that I do during a regular season, they're just in Ontario. So the farthest in Ontario I've had to travel is to Ottawa. But at the end of each season, there's the Canada East Championships, which is Eastern Canada, the top skaters from each province. And last March, I can wait, 2 Marches ago, I competed in New Brunswick, and that was my first out of province competition. I was going to
Hmm.
be going to Quebec last March, but that was canceled, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Hmm.
Who teaches you? Do you have a single or multiple coaches?
I've had a couple coaches in my career. Like once you move up groups, you usually change coaches. Right now, I have two permanent coaches right now.
Yeah. Do you usually like change coaches to learn more techniques?
Yeah, both my coaches, they have pretty different styles, so they usually switch practices. So like one practice is run by one and then the next practice is run by the other, and they're like completely different programs. One of them focuses a lot more on technique and like skating long laps and doing a lot of them, whereas another one
Hmm.
focuses more on like speed and power.
I guess. I guess those are both good qualities to have.
Hmm.
What do you do to warm up?
Usually we arrive at the rink about like an hour early, and then we have a 45-minute dryland session with our coach before we get on the ice.
All right. Nice. Do you get nervous before a race? If so, how do you handle that?
I definitely get nervous. I start shivering a lot, which I guess we are in a rink, so it is not exactly warm, but I can usually handle it pretty well. And I start like shaking a little bit, but talking to other people around me, like the people that I'm about to compete against, it really helps me calm down.
Yeah. Sometimes I find that too. Um,
Mhm.
does your work at speed skating help you as a person outside of the rink? If so, in what way?
I would say it does because it's definitely helped me learn to push through challenges,
All
not
right.
just on the ice, but also in like school or something, because
Yeah.
things are not always going to be easy on the first try and you're not always going to win.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although you did get second on your first try.
True.
What recommendations do you have for other kids who are interested in getting into competitive skating?
I would say that just keep with it because when you look at
Yeah.
how you are when you first start and you look at someone who's like been doing it for a while, you're going to notice a big difference in technique, and that's the hardest part is just trying to get the technique down, and it is going to take some time, but if you keep going and you like go at it like
You could be
every
equals.
yeah, you need to like keep doing it. You can't just do it every once in a while. So it's definitely
Yeah,
not easy to keep going, but that's the most important part.
that is really important. What is your favorite speed skater or other athlete? Like, why?
I look up to most athletes, I think, because I think no matter your level, you definitely do have something that you are good at and that I can look up to you for. So whether you're in the Olympics, because I definitely look up to those skaters, but also
Yeah.
even if you're just a few seconds faster than me, I'm still going to look up to you as a skater.
So I guess you could focus on them for technique or maybe some things you have in common you can improve with.
Yeah, they definitely help push me forward.
Yeah, that makes sense. Nice. If you could meet anybody famous, who would it be? And this question has no restrictions.
This isn't exactly related to speed skating, but I'm a big
That's
Taylor
fine.
Swift fan, so
Yeah.
probably her.
one of many.
Yep.
Who do you look up to, and who inspires you to keep following your dreams?
I would say my dad does, because everything that I enjoy, he seems to enjoy as well. So he definitely is there to push me forward. In speed skating, he is the one who will make me work out when I don't want to. So that really helps me.
Interesting. What is the most interesting place you've ever visited?
Last summer, I visited Amsterdam with my family, and it was a really great experience. I really had a lot of fun.
Amsterdam?
Yeah.
Well, what kind of things did you do in Amsterdam?
We went on a lot of tours. We went on a boat tour once. That was really fun.
Yeah, sounds fun. What advice do you have for other kids that are thinking about getting started or making progress on something that interests them? Like, it is no restriction. It doesn't have to be speed skating. It doesn't have to be anything.
I think that the most important part is to focus on your progress and not, like, don't look at what you're not good at. Look at what you are doing to get better at that instead.
Oh, yeah, that's a big part of life
Mhm.
too. Thanks for coming out here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I really appreciate your time. This was fun. Thank you.
Yeah.